On this video, I'm going to teach you about adding and removing buttons. The first thing we need to do is unlock the software. I then need to go over to Tools, create a button image, bring down our button. I'm going to put mine about the middle of the screen. I'm going to use the Shift and the arrow keys to kind of adjust the button to the size I actually want. I'll make a nice big wide button. I'm now going to take the cursor anywhere inside the button, right click, and bring up Properties. The first thing I'm going to do is change the color. I'm going to make an orange color. I'm going to go down to Define Custom Colors. I'm going to make this button a little lighter to actually fit kind of the sunset color in the background, which that's pretty close. The second thing down is background opacity. So what I'm going to do here is I can actually change this if I want to, and that just tells you how bright or opaque the color is actually going to be. The glare color, you can actually make that be any color and actually set the glare to it. I'm just going to leave it at 50. Now we have two button borders. We have one that is white, so if I wanted to I could change that to a real pale yellow color, and what I can do is make it just to be a little bit lighter here. I'll click OK, and you can see that light border, and I also have a black border around it. So if I wanted to, I can change that to be kind of a red color, make it be a little lighter. Sorry, using some light colors here, and click OK. What I can do is see those are really bright and the rest of my colors are really at 50 or 40, so I'm going to make it be 45 for the first color and drop down and make this one be 50 and see what we get here. We can also use the up down arrow buttons if you just want to customize this. If I want to, I can drop this down to 45. Now, the border width is at 2, but if we wanted to, we can actually make this be whatever number we'd actually like to. If you put in 0, we can actually get rid of them altogether. And right now this is what I'm going to do. The border radius, we can change this to be whatever number we like to. As you can see now, it's nice and almost ovalized shape. We can make it be 5, makes it look like it's almost square. If we want to, we can change this up to a higher number, and the borders will actually start turning into a weird design. And just to do something odd, I'm just going to change this border to be a weird design. You can see I've got two different colors here, and that's why the borders are looking really weird. Under image, I'm actually going to bring in an image. So I'm actually going to click on the little dots here. It's going to bring up everything that's in my desktop because that was the last thing I was looking at. I'm going to choose image 64, and it's actually going to be a picture of my dog. The first thing I need to do is I would like to center this. So I'm just going to type in 150 for left, kind of see where that's going to put me. I actually need to bring it back some, so I'm just going to kind of adjust it a little bit here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit past center, because the width of the picture, I'm actually going to bump that up to 70. Make it be a little bit bigger, so still trying to center it. It looks pretty good. From the top, I actually need to bring that down some. So I'm just going to type in a number. And that wasn't very close at all, so now I'm going to kind of bring up a number, and you can see that's pretty close. I'd like to center that a little bit more, so I'm just going to bring it up to there, and I can see that my centering with the left was not close at all. So I can actually increase that some to kind of center it up some. There. Now if we want to, we can actually add text to this too. I'm just typing in auto dog feeder. We can actually change the font if you want to. So if you want to go down to like Times New Roman, we can scroll down here till we get to it. And I can actually put that in bold if I'd like. Maybe I'd like to change that up to a 10, makes it nice and easy to read. Here again, we can actually center this and change the color. So if I want to change this to a dark red, I can click OK. And what I'll do is I'll try to center this, and we'll move it to the left 20 places, which that wasn't enough, so we'll try 35, which still isn't enough, but I guess it's a lot closer, and we can just kind of zoom it over. Now we can have it on top of the picture if you wanted to. If you need to, we can actually move it down underneath. And I'm just going to take a guess here. I move it down 30, which that definitely was not enough. 55 is still not close. 65. That'll be close enough where I can just kind of scroll down just a little bit underneath it here. Now I'm actually going to leave some room so I can actually put in that drop shadow behind it. So what I'm now going to do is go down here, turn the drop shadow to true. Instead of it being set at 2, I'll make it be 4. And you can see it's a little bit, but that's too much. So I'm actually going to drop that down to 3. Well, really that 2 didn't look bad at all. Now with that color, we can actually lighten that black up just a little bit here. So now it's not so bad. I'm going to change that to 70, see what it looks like. Now if this is the way you like your button, and you're going to make a lot more buttons using this, you might not want to put in the type if you want to. What we can do, we can save this as a template. So I'm just going to call it a template name, which is dog button, and click OK. Now, we also need to save this button, so I'm going to go in here and hit save. Now when we actually save the button, it's actually going to save it in the graphics folder. I'm going to call it the exact same thing there too, so I don't confuse myself. So now what I can do is I can actually hide this button. I can right click anywhere in the background, go down to add a button. Let's say I'd like to add an output. Now since I've got a button on my screen, the first thing I like to do is associate this with an output. So I'm going to right click within the button, go to properties, and I'm just going to let it scroll down to be output 15. And this I'm going to turn it on to 3 seconds. I've got kind of a big dog, so maybe I should let his food run out a little bit longer, so I'll say 10 seconds. I'm then going to go back and right click in the center of the button again and go to graphics, click browse. Now we call this dog button, so I'm going to press D, which will get me into the D's. You can see I've got dog button, and there's the button that we made, so I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click OK again. Now you can actually see this is the button for the dog. To build this, we're going to go up to the hammer, click build, click the design that we're currently working in, press. It's done. I'm going to minimize the RMDesigner software, double click on my RM software icon on my desktop, and now you can actually see there's my RM software up and working, and there's my dog button. Now you can make all the different buttons you want to in the RM software. This is the end of this section.